Welcome back, everybody, to Empyrion Galactic Survival on Project Eden. This is the Dead is Dead series. I am an old guy gaming, and we are still alive. That's probably because we're in creative mode anyway. So, I've been doing quite a bit of work on the Jade Jet here, trying to get it to do what I want it to do at Tier 2 with a Tier 2 CPU. And so this is basically what I've come up with in terms of the design. I haven't, I still need to finish the decoration, but I didn't want to really do that until I was completely satisfied, with how it's going to go. One thing to keep in mind too is that, this ship is big. It's probably bigger than it should be, but I didn't want to change the design of it, the exterior design of it any more than I had to. So I'm going to hold out until we can get to the higher CPU tiers and see if we can continue to use it at its current size, because I like the length that it currently is. It used to actually be shorter, and when I extended it out, a couple of alphas ago, I was a lot happier with the way that it looked in terms of proportion and whatnot. So, but I've completely gutted out the center of this and tried to streamline it as much as possible. So let's take a look first of all at where we're at in terms of statistics and CPUs. So as you can see, I'm just a smidge over, but not enough. I don't think that matters. I mean, we're at 99% efficiency level, so I think that's definitely tolerable. In terms of our thrust, this is basically where we're at right now. It's not ideal. Okay, the ship overall is a little more sluggish than I would like it to be, but I think it's workable, at least for now. When we get, when I get out and I start actually using it, I might change my mind. I don't know. I'm not super happy with it. I'll just be honest with you. I'm not super happy with it, but I don't really know what else I can do to improve the ship and stay within that limitation. One of the things that I've done here too is let's group everything. All of my thrusters, every single thruster on this ship is a jet thruster now, and they're all the small jet thrusters. And so the reason I went with that is because the jet thrusters are just a little bit more efficient overall than the non-jet thrusters. So I went with those. I did a little bit of research, and plus a couple of you guys have left comments about using the tier 2 thrusters, but actually the tier 2 thrusters, as far as I can tell, are not any more efficient than its tier 1 equivalent. It just looks different. I set up a little spreadsheet in Excel and did some calculations. And and when I'm talking about the tier 2 thrusters, I'm talking about these guys here. So this tier 2 thruster compared to its tier 1 equivalent, I guess, these are exactly the same in terms of efficiency. Okay, so the tier 2 has more force, but it's not any more efficient than this in terms of the CPU that it uses. Okay, so because this uses 185 kilonewtons for 123 CPU, and this uses 252 kilonewtons for 168 CPU. So yes, this is definitely going to give more thrust, but it's also using more CPU, and they both come out to about 1.5 CPU per kilonewton, almost exactly identical. So based upon that, though, but then if you compare the jet thruster, the small jet thruster, with this, okay, which actually has 328 kilonewtons, but also takes up more space, this is about 1.3 CPU per kilonewton. So this is definitely overall more efficient in terms of the ratio of CPU that it uses per force. Okay, so that's basically. And I also did a little bit of research, and people are generally saying that the small thruster jets are really the best ones to use at this point in time on small vessels. Now, the article that I read was a little bit outdated, so that may not be exactly the same as it was, but that's just what I went with here. Okay, so let's take a look and see what the changes were made. So let's see, I took the little doohickey off the top here that had an extra thruster, and I moved the rear thrusters, the rear thrust, all the way out to the edges of the wings. And then I put, you know, two forward thrusters per side, again, all the way as far out to the edge of the wings that I could. This design I was playing with, I did it kind of more in a vertical fashion, but I like this better because everything stays flat, so it appears to be, you know, a little bit more aerodynamic with the wing there. Whether or not that actually matters in the game, I'm not really sure. But that's what we did for the wing tips. I also tried to move all thrusters to the ends of the ship, and so there's no thrusters any longer anywhere in the middle or the center on all sides. Okay, so that means that our lateral thrusters, I've got two per side on the rear, and then I've got the one per side in the front here. And the problem that I ran into though with the jets is that excuse me, you know, they're 3 blocks long, and this is a 5 block long ship, so I couldn't butt them up against each other without them protruding on one side, and, you know, of course that didn't look it. So for this particular front end, this one's down a block lower and this one's up a block in order for me to accomplish that. Okay, and then yeah, so we got our down thrusts are all as close to, you know, the front of the ship as I could get it, and then of course at the back, and then same thing for, you know, our lift thrusters, all the way on the back end there, and then as close as I could get it to the front on this end. And then I had to kind of redesign the blocks a little bit here to get everything to, you know, look fairly decent in terms of, you know, the lines and so forth of the ship. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the exterior. Now on the interior, like I said, I completely gutted this thing out. And all the machinery I put just right in the center here. Okay, so we've got our core, we've got our extender, 2 fuel tanks, 2 generators, a wireless device, an ammo controller with 5 extensions, and a scanner or a detector, and that's it. I mean, we have nothing else in the ship in terms of, you know, of components or machinery or equipment. So there's no armor lockers, there's no refrigerators, and there's none of that kind of thing that I originally had in the ship, because this ship has one job. It is a fighter ship. It's a short-range fighter ship, and that's all it's ever going to do. And so, you know, because CPU is so tight, we just can't put that stuff in there. And so that means, you know, we're going to have to make sure that we have our own oxygen supply, just on our person when we're in the ship. The fuel tanks, I only have the 2 fuel tanks, and, you know, it's a little bit slight, but again, you know, this is a short-range ship, and I just have to make sure that I have a little extra fuel on me when I take it out, just in case, you know, we're going to go a little bit longer than normal. Okay, so let's take a look at its performance. So in space, it's not too bad. So we got pretty good lateral thrust in space, pretty good lift. Not the down thrust is a little weaker, but it's not too bad. It doesn't turn as good as I would like it to, but it's not absolutely terrible either. And roll, again, a little bit sluggish, but, you know, I could probably live with it. The pitch, also here again, it's just, you know, especially the up pitch is really not that good. The down pitch is better, and that's probably has something to do with the fact that, you know, we have more down or up thrust than we do down thrust. So yeah, I'm still not really happy with the pitch, but I don't know. I'm just gonna try it and see how it does. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Let's go down into Atmo and just see, you know, how she does down in atmosphere. Like I said, her down pitch is a lot better than her upward pitch. I mean, I'm like really moving my mouse across the pad just to get the nose up here. Yeah, that's just, you know, the more I look at that, I'm just not happy with that. See, the thing about that too is we've got equal. Oh, you know, it probably also has something to do with. It probably also has something to do with the fact that, you know, the ship is wider in the back and then in the front, and so that's probably affecting that too. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to work at tier 2 CPU. It's just not happy with it. We might, I don't know, we might have to put this guy on the shelf until we can get into tier 3 and then try it again. Yeah, I'm literally just sliding my mouse up the mouse pad, you know, to try and get the nose up. It's okay for down thrust. It's just, or down pitch. It's the upward pitch that's just terrible. Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can do about that. I have no CPU left for an RCS. That's just not going to work with its current setup. You know, this is the lateral thrust in atmosphere. It's a little sluggish, not ideal, but I mean, you know, its acceleration is not ideal either. I mean, it's got really slow back thrust because I only have 3 thrusters for that. This is forward acceleration. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not happy with how this is working. Not sure what else I can do with it though at tier 2 CPU without completely, you know, just changing the whole design of the ship and you know, shortening it up and whatnot. Which again, I really don't want to do that until we can try tier 3. So I don't know. Maybe we just keep working with the Stingray for now. And you know, we can also modify the Stingray, and it's sort of kind of been a multi-purpose ship. It doesn't, you know, once we bring the chisel in, which is the next thing I got to work on, by the way. Once we bring the chisel in, you know, anyway, oh, I guess we already have the warp shuttle too. That's right, I forgot about that. Remember, I've been gone on a business trip for almost 2 weeks. So it's been over 2 weeks actually since I recorded the last episode. The one that I released to you guys a couple days ago, I actually had recorded before I left. Anyway, so maybe we play around with the Stingray, because the Stingray is a smaller, you know, it's a smaller ship, and see if we can make that a dedicated fighter, just because it handles so much better. And then we shelve the J-Jet. We shelve the J-Jet until we can get into tier 3 CPU, and then come back, you know, to the drawing board with it, so to speak, and see if we can get it to do what, you know, what we need it to do. I'm a little concerned though, because I think the tier 3 it might take almost damn near all of that just to support the shield. I don't know. I haven't actually played around with tier 3 yet, so I'm not. You know what we could do, actually? You know what we could do? Let's do this. Let's hop out of here for a second, just for the hell of it. What I'm going to do too before I mess with this is, let's go ahead and save this at, we're just going to save it as 9B. I'm going to overwrite it. That way we have this version saved. Okay, so if we, I just want to look at something here. If we go into creative mode, or to the creative menu rather, and we grab a tier 3 extender, and we also then grab a shield generator. We don't need a warp drive. We are going to need a pentaxid tank. Small generators and fuel tanks. Okay, yeah. Special events container. No, that's not what we're looking for. I'm looking for, where's the damn shield generator? Right here, right here. Okay. So let's put the tier 3 on here. Do we keep this tier 2 on, or do we have to take it off? Let's just put it there. What's that do? Oh, it's not registering. Okay, so we probably have to take the tier 2 off. Okay. Now is it registering? Okay, here, let's add another. And now where's it at? Okay, so I guess that's it. I guess that's it. You have to have 2. And then if that's the case, I'm assuming we have to have 4 of those. I think that's right now. Yeah, I think that is correct. I just forgot about that. Because I'm still kind of new to the whole CPU thing anyway. I haven't worked with it a lot yet, if that wasn't already obvious, right? Okay, so now we're up to tier 3. Now, if we just simply plop down a shield generator and a tank, how much space does that leave us? Yeah, see, we're... Okay, so we have about 8,500-ish points to play with. Okay, so that being the case... Here, let's pick these back up for a second. Let's just put that right there. Okay. All right, so now if we add, let's grab some jet thrusters here. So we have really poor upward pitch. So it seems to me like we might be able to improve that by adding more down thrust to the front, maybe? Let's just put these here for now. Obviously, that's not where they would actually stay. I'm just trying to see if it makes any kind of a difference at all. Oh, for Pete's frickin' sake. Come on. Go in the right spot. There. Okay. And I would want to... Well, okay, where are we at, though? Oh, yeah, we still got space. Okay. I would want to increase acceleration. So let's just double up what we got going on here for the moment. Come on. Okay. So that would increase our acceleration, and then we need a little bit better back thrust too. So let's go here and grab some more jets. Jets. Let's add one more to each side here. Yeah, screw it. I'm not going to try and get it straight. I don't care. Don't give a shit. Okay, so now, where are we at? Okay, we still got lots of room to play with. Lots of room to play with. Lateral thrust wasn't terrible, but let's go ahead and just do this. I mean, I have to figure out how I'm going to get this all to fit later. I just want to see if we can make it work right now. Okay. All right, let's try it now and see what it does. Okay, turning's good. Definitely an improvement on up pitch, but it's still slower than I want it to be, for sure. Lateral thrust is good. Rolling's halfway decent. Definitely have better forward acceleration. Back thrust is still kind of slow. But we still have a lot of room to play with, though, too. Still have a lot of room to play. Okay, let's try this. Let's go... What if we try a couple RCSs? So let's go back into here. We don't have tier 2 RCSs for small vessels, do we? Okay, let's just throw, like, say 4 of them in here. What's that do to our CPU? Okay, it gets it up there, but we're still not in too bad a shape. I seem to have lost my ability to roll for some reason. Okay. Ah, okay, that's better. That's much better, actually. Much better. Okay, I think I've proved my point, though. Well, I wasn't trying to make a point. I was trying to experiment on something. I think I approved my experiment, which means that we can most definitely get a shield generator on here and add quite a few more thrusters and RCSs when we upgrade this to tier 3 and get it to do what I want it to do. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good, in fact. Okay, that's good to know. So we're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to get away with it with tier 2. I just don't think the ship's going to work on tier 2 with its current setup. So the plan's going to be that we're going to make the Stingray a dedicated fighter. We're going to take all the stuff off it that it doesn't need, so that it's a pure dedicated fighter. Because we now have the warp shuttle and we will have the chisel, and that'll take care of the other amenities and functions and stuff that we were trying to get the Stingray to do when that was our only ship. And then once we have the ability to make a tier 3 CPU for small vessels, then I will come back and redo this ship with tier 3, and we'll go from there. So that's the deal. All right. So now we got a little bit of time left here, and not a whole lot, actually, a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in my direction is all screwed up here. Let me log out and come back in. Something's messed up. I've had a couple of weird glitchy things going on with Empyrion today. Earlier, I couldn't get my my multi-tool to pick up whole blocks, even when I had it set to do so. It was just salvaging, so weird shit going on today. I don't know. Okay, now I've got control back. You know what I think I'm going to do, too? I'm just going to save this as version C. So when I go to actually, upgrade it, I'll at least know, what my count was for those devices we added, but then I'll actually get them, to fit on there so it looks good. Actually, one other thing I want to see is, can I add 2 more Gatlings to this? I think I'll be able to, but let's just see what happens. CPU. Yeah. Okay, what if we also then so that would give us 6 Gatlings. Can we add another homing launcher to the mix too? Homing. Well, I guess I had a couple there already. And like put that right there. What? Oh, wrong button. Yep, we could do it. Okay, so that would give us 3. That would give us 3 rocket launchers and 6 Gatlings. So that's pretty good armaments for a small vessel. It's not bad. Okay, well that's encouraging. It's good to know that we can make this work. We're just going to have to wait until Tier 3, though, to do so. If you guys have other suggestions for how we could still get it to work with Tier 2, by all means, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. But for now, I think we're going to just shelve this ship until we can get to Tier 3, and then we'll revisit it. Let's overwrite C. We'll revisit it at that point, and then I think we can get it to work, and without changing its length and all that sort of thing. Because I like how long it is. I want to keep it that way. But once we come up with like the finished product, then at that point it's just going to be, this is just going to be a Tier 3 ship, and it won't be usable at Tier 1 or Tier 2, which means it's going to be more of an end-game small vessel, as opposed to something, that can be attained early on. This is a cool space station. I like this. I haven't really looked at it very much. Okay, well, now we are definitely out of time, guys. So we're going to do at least one more build episode. So in the next episode, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the chisel, and then we're going to start modifying the chisel and seeing how we can make it work at Tier 2. Okay? And then we'll have to earn Tier 3 the normal way after we do that. So we'll see what we can, get the chisel done. Hopefully we can get it to work at Tier 2, so we have, a full-size capital vessel to work with. If we can't, then, we might just have to stick with the warp shuttle and the Stingray until we can get to Tier 3. So we'll have to see how that goes. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share out the video, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.